love to go wheeling, whether it's in the mountains, on the rocks, playing in the sand, the mud, or the snow. Our bags are packed and we're ready to hit the trail. We get a chance to film the best off-road events in the country with some of the best riders in the world. These guys push their machines to the limit, but sometimes the terrain wins. These creative engineers are going to show you how they fix it on the trail to get it home and ready to ride again. Gears, Rocks, and Wrenches has been brought to you by Kanati Tires, quality performance tires.
Well, first I want to start by saying that this chair is the most uncomfortable chair that I've ever seen. So if you're going to be overlanding with us, you probably need to up your budget. When people ask me about overlanding, the term gets overused and thrown around all over the place. It becomes kind of that like Bucci style tent camping, but you know, you do it in a rooftop tent. I call it car camping. They car camped in the 70s. It's just kind of making its way back. Super convenient. For me, it's point to point to point. You're not really staying at the same place every night. You're picking a destination and you're working your way to that destination. That's kind of how I describe overlanding.
The overlanding event we're doing, I think, is a little different than most. From what I've been told, this is my first time actually overlanding. You know, I've camped before, motorhome before, done all this, but never went out in a vehicle with just kind of camp gear, drove out in the middle of the woods and threw out a tent, I guess, you know, and explored as you're going out. You know, typically camping I've done before is like drive on the road to your camp spot that you paid for and put up a tent maybe and camp. So this is a little different. From what my understanding was, overlanding was, you know, you went out and explored, found some trails. But I feel like this is extreme overlanding, what we ran into. Some of the roads we're going on are not your typical gravel road. They're extreme trails, really, for these vehicles. A couple of them we've experienced some body damage, a little bit, nothing too bad. But really got to be on your game and, you know, need some spotters to go down the trail. It's been very technical. We've seen a lot of neat scenery, some wildlife, some things that you typically don't see, I think. But it's been a very extreme overlanding trip from what I can tell so far. It's taken us a little longer than we originally thought, just because the terrain's been so difficult. You know, like I said, a lot of spotting. You know, I've done some pretty radical jeeping and only had to pull a winch a couple times, and we pulled a winch 3 times in 2 days already, you know, the first 2 days in. So it's been very eventful, very nail biting, but it's been really fun. Like it's really been a really awesome experience so far.
So on this trip, we're gonna drive from Denver to Telluride on as much dirt as possible. We're hoping to keep the vehicle's rubber side down because when we flip upside down, the beer tends to get shaken up. We get a lot of crap pretty often from different segments of four-wheelers. If you're on a difficult trail, say with an overland rig, sometimes it's, you know, gentle ribbing, sometimes it's a little harsher, but you hear a lot, you got those small rigs, you're gonna make it down this trail or blah, blah, blah. And we do a pretty good job of staying out of people's way. We do our best to keep moving. If there's a group behind us, we'll let them pass or whatnot. So the only really limitations you have is with a loaded out rig, you have a lot of weight. And with a rooftop tent, you're a little top heavy. So you're slower through some segments. But if you drive carefully, if everyone drives safe, you can make it through some pretty serious trails with rigs built like ours. A lot of our customers are surprised that we actually use our vehicles and test our products, and we live the life. We've been campers and mountain bikers and hikers and kayakers and fishermen and our whole life. So this is really just a new segment in the past 5 years for us to just do like expedition style vehicle camping. So it's what we've always done, but it's just bringing them all together with one vehicle, you know, just all the self-supported travel.
Sitting on your sliders. If you can back up just a little bit and bump it.
Just on sliders?
And harder. Okay.
Is it all tire?
You good?
Good?
Yeah. Quarter panel. Well, the easy thing for me is, I mean, it's more of a hobby than it is a job, but I guess it's both, you know what I mean? So I kind of came into it as a hobby, turned it into a job, and then now this, you know, I mean, I'm getting paid to go wheel in Colorado and camp in the mountains, so I can't complain there.
Yeah, you know, they do look pretty yuppie, and I can remember in my younger days seeing a bunch of Land Cruisers or Lexuses on the trail and going, what in the hell are they doing here? And where the hell do they think they're going? And here we are now in these plush Lexus Land Cruisers, and they're pretty capable. You know, we went up some pretty hard trails. The trails were probably a lot harder than they normally would have been, but they've had a lot of rain this year, so a lot of washouts, a lot of lack of trail maintenance in general. So we pushed those things a lot harder than we thought we were going to. And they're still pretty. They're still pretty. And make a 5-mile-an-hour run at it. Not great.
Just bumper.
Kanati Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Kanati Tires.
Back up a little bit. Okay, straight, back up. Yep, just keep going straight like that. Yep, right there. Yep, good work. Climbing on this side. All right.
Yeah, you know, we started in this, and we've wheeled buggies, we've wheeled Jeeps, we've wheeled Lexus, 4Runners, Tacomas. We've pushed them on rock crawling trails, we've taken them on easy trails. We've kind of done it all, and at this point, we know what it takes, and it just brings a different challenge when you're a little lower to the ground and you don't have a bunch of armor wrapped around you like you do when you're in a Wrangler. I guess it doesn't matter what vehicle you put us in, we're gonna find a way to get it up the trail, down the trail, recover it. Sometimes it's just a little harder or a little easier. That's just kind of part of the journey.
Yeah, I don't know. They said they rode smoother, and Brian today, he said, I'm so sick of these bumps. But yeah, I'm sure they are. You know, the independent suspension, they absorb and kick the vehicle around a lot less than the straight axles do. But I still kind of like the heavy dutiness of the straight axle and not having to worry about it. So I'm not ready to jump ship yet.
You know, my opinion of them have changed over the last, 6 months to a year after I've started being around these Lexuses more and around the Toyota community, and they're more capable than people want to give them credit for. So they've proved on this trip that they can hold their own if they're equipped properly. So.
I like the challenges. Well, I like the challenges, I like the scenery, I like the camaraderie, so all those make it fun. And I guess a little bit of the fun is that 3 vehicles have body damage and 1 blew a tire, and ours hasn't had any problems yet. So, but it's just fun being with friends and going on adventures and trying to get through and get everybody out alive without tearing things up too bad.
This trip hasn't been for the faint of heart so far. If you think you're going on a Sunday cruise, this has not been the trip for you.
So I guess I'll start with wheeling. I think wheeling can be a little more intense than overlanding can be. Some of the stuff that we've done for wheeling and more four-wheeling stuff has been crazy. We've done some really, intense rocks, a lot of off-camber type of stuff, some sketchy things, a lot of cliff things, or just more. I'm trying to think of like some trips that we've done in like Kentucky and Tennessee. We've gone through some parks down there that were just rocky as all get out. There was this one obstacle. I remember when Daryl and I first started dating at that point, we were doing some pretty intense off-camber stuff, and we were teetering pretty hardcore, and I had a giant rock right in front of my face, and I'm just, holding on. And so we've done some pretty intense stuff like that, and I think overlanding is more of an adventure type of thing. Like you're going to places that are like this, like out in the woods, like places that you wouldn't necessarily go to. But that's what I want to say. I think it's more so of the adventure of getting out camping, but doing it in your trucks and finding some fun trails along the way. This last couple days have been a little more little less overlanding and more so off-roading. I think it's been a little more intense.
So I've never been up red cones, so the view is amazing. You get to the top and we passed those goats at the very top at the pass. We lost a drone, so I climbed down a mountainside to get a drone. So it was an interesting day. But I think based off of what we saw today, what we were supposed to do last night, I think it's probably a good idea that we didn't do that last night.
Oh yeah, we saw the bighorn sheep up on top of Red Cone. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the first place and probably the only place I'll ever work where you get in a truck and you get in 6 rigs with 10 different people that you work with every day, and you go and have a good time for a week, and there's no drama, I mean, we don't even talk about workplace stuff when we're out here. So it's a pretty unique situation to be in. Yeah, and it's the campsite that wasn't supposed to be, right? So we roll in and have to make a change of plans on the fly, and then end up in a spot where we can all set up in about, what, an hour's time, and we're all cooking dinner, and there's moose that we have to take a break from dinner to turn around and look at through the binoculars, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, my passenger's in a cot tent, so I'm glad that, you know, that everybody says if a bear's coming after you, you just have to be faster than your slowest buddy. And I think the same thing applies for camping. You got to be higher than your, I guess, slowest buddy. So
Set up and there's 3 bull moose, huge bull moose, hanging out, you know, 100 yards away from our campsite. That was pretty cool too.
say something about you. A funny thing about Corey. How long have we been out here? Have you pooped yet? Have you pooped yet? Yesterday? At the gas station? Well, that doesn't count. I think there's about 10 of us, and I think only 2 or 3 of us have pooped. So